And we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome into our...
Hi, everybody. I'm eating my sandwich.
So, welcome into our... Okay, all right, there we go. Let me refresh this. Just a second. I'm finished getting set up here with some stuff here, folks. So bear with us. There we go. So I'm going to open that one there up. And put this one down over here.
Okay. Southern Ohio prep engineer.
Okay, I'm here, but I may have to run off a bit. Okay, watch the kids. Okay. All right, I got that going up over here. Hello, Big Dreams, Hidden Valley Homestead. Hey, Scott. Uncle Al, Kiss My Grass, Jehoiadak Maccabeus. And Scott's still up in the crane. Oh, Scott, how high up there are you on your crane right now? For those of you that know, Scott is Hidden Valley Homestead. He's an operating engineer in Southern California, and he's up on a crane working overtime today.
All right.
Common Sense with Elizabeth.
How big a crane is it?
That's why I was asking to see how high up he is. And Dave's here with Southern Ohio Prepping. And Big Dreams. All right, so for today's live, we're going to be talking on Survival Saturday. We're going to be talking about the different types of survival / preparedness groups there are out there. There's been a couple other
45-ton tower.
45-ton. How tall are you right now, Scott?
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah. Elaine Fisher. Hi, Elaine. So there's been a lot of talk about, the different survival groups and stuff, especially with everything that's going on back in Virginia, where everyone go, oh, we're gonna have a civil war. It's the big boogaloo, and it's gonna go all the heck on the in January when the governor sends out the National Guard troops to take away everybody's guns, and everybody goes, I need to join a prepper group. I need to join a survivalist group. I need to know what to do. And there's been a lot of bad information out there I've seen. There's been a lot.
You're not coming up here, Dave?
And so he's just people are just kind of like, freaking out what to do. And so I thought I'd help straighten some things out. Oh, he's 280 feet up in the air.
Well, he'll be able to see a lot of stuff from up there.
Yep. Hey, Lori's here. Hi, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Before we get jumping into it, if you haven't seen my video on Lori Jean, she lost her channel, and it took YouTube a couple weeks to get it back. And Lori, how many subscribers are you back up to now? I think she's somewhere in the 30s or low 40s now. But yeah, she lost all her subscribers. When they brought it back, she was at 0. So, but if you have a chance, she's at 34 now. If you haven't had a chance to check out Lori, go over there, check her out. She's got some good content. She does healthy food cooking, cast iron cooking. She does MRE reviews. She's a real supportive person. So we need to give her some love and make up for whatever happened to her channel, whether it was hacked or YouTube did or whatever did it, but she needs to get all right, Big Dreams. Way to go. She just made her 35. All right. Okay, so to the main topic of today, the different types of, let me reduce this down a little bit. There we go. Bring this up, of survival groups and stuff. Well, so let me give you a little spiel here first on, I'm working on a video to come out on this a little bit, but I figured we chat about it. I want to get some of your guys' feedback from from the side chat on these ideas and stuff. But basically, over the years, I mean, it's not just recently because of Virginia, but that seems to be the spotlight on it right now. But over the years, I've been asked, what type of survival groups are there? Let me bring this over where I can see it here a little better. What type of survival groups there are, and what people should do about it. Well, when people ask me what type of survival groups or prepper groups there are, my basic response is, well, what types and groups of kids are there in high school? Just as the makeup of the kids in high school varies, so does the types and makeups of survival prepper groups. So that's one of the things that I've come back with, because it's like things are constantly changing. The world is constantly changing, and so people are trying to come up with new types of groups and stuff, and so trying to keep up on everything's a little difficult for most people. And the next question I get asked a lot is, which group should I join? And that one I can answer right now. I don't know. I'm not you.
It depends on what you want out of it.
Exactly. I can't make that decision for you. But what we're going to do here is we're going to try to help give you some facts and some information so that you can make that decision on your own. Now, one of the things that I want to point out with here at the beginning here, as far as groups go, in my mind, homesteaders are a little bit apart from these groups I'm going to list, because they're already where they're going to be. They don't plan on taking off to go anywhere. They're there. Like, I'm here in Idaho. This is my place. This is my redoubt. This is my last stand. This is it.
Hey, Pripford, how you doing?
Hey. So
I saw you slide in.
Yeah. So the homesteadings have their own community, and I've learned that a lot. I've learned a lot from the homesteading community since I've been on YouTube here this year. And so they're a different animal from the prepper community, because they're prepping all the time, because that's their lifestyle. They have to. They put away food for the wintertime. That's what they do. So let's look at the different types of groups. Now,
here's the thing, though, or how I take it anyway. Mm-hmm. If you're a prepper and you're also a homesteader, they prepare differently still. They still farm their place or take care of their place and put up food and everything. But at the same time, they're also looking at how to prepare for the big event, And other homesteaders are just homesteading; they're just living the dream, So there's a difference there too. It's like we say, it's like high school. There's different cliques,
Right. Exactly. And so I got it narrowed down to 8 basic types of groups, and we're going to go over those here real quickly. But I want to point out, don't take offense, anybody. You may say, well, I'm in group B, but you said that's group C as far as what they do. Different groups sometimes will call their group a different type of group, either A, to sound more tough, or B, sound less intimidating, or try to blend in. So we're just going to go with the generic basic types and talk a little bit about those, and then what you need to do as far as looking into them. So first, big warning right off the bat about prepper groups, survival groups, whatever. Beware of any group that tells you got to keep all your supplies here at our facility, at our redoubt. No, you don't got to keep. Any group that tells you that, beware of them. And be doubly aware of any group that says, if you quit the group, all your supplies that are here, stay here, they're ours. That's theft. You don't want to be involved with that group.
I'll be right back. I have to be a pet parrot.
Okay. So that's what you that's one of the things you need to look out for. So first group, and I suspect that nobody in here wants to be part of the first group, and that is the lone wolf. And lone wolves are just what they sound like. They plan to go it alone, not relying on others for support. They're usually a single individual, but they can be a single family unit. Someone wants their whole family to go off and be a lone wolf family. All right. So that's the first one, and he's back. Okay, boom, boom.
It's so that's my son. It's snowing here.
Yeah. So that's what the lone wolf is, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit here. The next one, most people probably haven't heard of because they are probably, what I'll call it, they keep their profile under the radar more than most other groups. That's the LLC. Now, an LLC is a limited liability company or corporation. Now, these can vary in size from small, such as 5 families, to very large. They are legally set up as a company, corporation, or other entity, and the members of this group are shareholders. They buy in, they can get bought out, and basically that keeps it as looking like the company, and the company owns the land they're going to go to.
Hey, Tibor.
Hey, Tibor. So that's one of the things they look at it like that. I got a whole bunch more information here, but like I said, we're just going to name off what the
LLCs are like. That keeps anybody from coming and taking your property from you because it doesn't belong to just you. It belongs to more than one person.
Yeah, and that way, if somebody in part of the group does something stupid, it doesn't make the whole group liable. That's the reason for having an LLC. The next one is called a MAC. I'm going through these alphabetically. A MAC stands for Mutual Assistance Community, or some people like to call it a Mutual Assuredness Community. So you can see already we're getting, people call it a little bit different depending what they want to shine out as. So basically a MAC varies in size from small, just a couple families, up to very large. I mean, it can encompass almost the entire town. Where I'm living here, almost the entire town is the MAC. We're only a quarter mile square, but just about everybody is involved. All right. Now, generally, a MAC does not own a retreat property to go to. A bug out location, whatever you want to call it, retreat, redoubt, backup facility, bug out facility, whatever you want to call it, we're just going to call it facility from now on, okay? So we don't get any. So they don't own a land or a facility. Now the next group is called a MAG, which is a mutual assistant group or a mutual assuredness group. They do own land. That land is probably away from the city, and so the members have to drive a bit to get there. And they do have rules and everything else, and so we'll cover some of that later. The next one that comes up is called a team. Teams are smaller than any other group other than a lone wolf. These groups are very, very structured with rigid, specific rules. They often run on a militaristic type platform. The next type of group is called a tribe. Tribes are larger than teams, but smaller than most of the other groups. They are less rigid than a team, but they are more rigid than LLCs, MACs, or MAGs. The next one is villages. Villages are larger than tribes. And here's the interesting thing. A village, after an event, has the possibility of growing quicker than any other group because the structure of a village and stuff is to be like, they're looking forward to after the event when things can start growing again and recovering. That's their focus is on is a group to recover a village, like a town, they're going to have set up blacksmith shops, trading posts, and stuff like that. That's their focus, is for after the event. And the last group, I've heard it called two different things, so I'm going to lumping it together. I've heard them called wolf packs, and I've heard it called nomads. And basically, they're the same. It's a mobile group. They're larger than teams, but smaller than villages.
Usually a lone wolf will be one to maybe 3 people, and they just more or less stay to themselves. Yeah. They're more like the marauders. They believe if whatever they need, they'll take it, and it's not necessarily by force. They might just sneak into your area and take what they need, like on the sly, and they think that they can just get through it, that way. But it's really not the best way to go, in my opinion. Sooner or later, you're going to get caught and probably killed.
Yeah. So we'll come back to lone wolves in a second, but the wolf pack or nomad group, their plan is to be like the nomads of the desert. They're going to move. They're going to avoid trouble. They're going to just be planning to move around until things settle down. They'll take all their belongings with them. They will have livestock like sheep or goats or some cows, and they're going to move. And their whole thing is to, avoid trouble by being able to move and, be totally mobile all the time. So, let's see if anything reminds me of the old Robin Williams movie. Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning here. And so you guys chime in, fire off some things when we're talking about lone wolves now. Lone wolf, they can, some of them plan to go out and just live in the national forest, move around in the national forest, or set up in a cave somewhere, or go somewhere where they're by themselves and they're, like an old mountain man of old, or possibly, just a recluse, a hermit. Now, the problem with that is that I see, and Will, you chime in here when if you had a negative on this. The problem I see is they got to depend on themselves all the time.
Not only that, they have to sleep sometime. And that's what gets them in trouble, is because if they fall asleep, then somebody can come and take what they have, or take them out.
Yeah.
And everybody says, I'm going to be a lone wolf. I don't trust anybody else. I'm going to just go out and be by myself. Well, that's really not a good idea at all, because at one point or another, you're going to need to sleep, and you're not going to always be able to sleep with your back to a wall, and you're not always going to be able to be on the move. And there's just too many negative things in the way of being nomadic or the lone wolf type of guy. Everybody says that they can do it, but it's just not possible. I mean, most people are going to be bundled up in groups, some sort of a group, a MAC, or a village, or something like that. They're going to be bundled up into a lot of people, and you're just not going to fit in. You're going to make it so that you don't fit in, and then they will just eventually take what you have and either send you on your way or put you 6 foot under.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm checking something here. What's this?
It might even be a shallow grave.
Yeah. Get this down here. There we go. All right. Now the other problem with like Will was saying, you got to sleep sometime. It may not be what I'm thinking. It may not be another person that takes you out. It may be an animal while you're sleeping comes up on you and takes you out. And so that's one of the problems with that. So
I've even heard people say, "Well, I'll be a lone wolf. I'll take my wife with me, or I'll teach my kid to go with me, and he'll be on his own or whatever." But it just doesn't work out that way. It's just the system is against you right from the start.
yeah, because one thing, all right, you're out there by yourself. You're hiking through the woods. You step over a rock or a stump or a down branch, and next thing you know, there's this rattlesnake on your leg. You're by yourself. What are the odds of you surviving that? Or you're walking along and in the leaves, and all of a sudden it slips on you, and you fall and you break your arm, or you break your leg. By yourself has some very, very specific things. Disable and prepping. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, Grampy Campy has been sending a lot of people to me this morning.
Hey, disabled and prepping, how are you doing? Good to see you.
And so, as a lone wolf, it has a lot of drawbacks. Yeah, you can say, "Oh, I'm very mobile and I can get out of there. I can get away and avoid people and do stuff." But in the long term, I don't see it. You're also going to wind up, humans are social animals.
Even in today's day and age, we're not in any SHTF event or anything. You still have people that call themselves lone wolves. But if you actually look at the lone wolf scenario in today's lifetime, where there's people everywhere, they're really not even lone wolves. They spend a lot of time by themselves, but they end up going and seeing their buddy that has a buddy that has a buddy, and they hang out. But in an SHTF situation, a lone wolf isn't going to have a way to say, "Well, I'm going to go over and see my buddy." It's just not going to work that way, because they're all going to be backed up or magged up or whatever it is, and they're going to be real weary of a lone wolf. So the thing is just not to be a lone wolf, or if you're going to try to be a lone wolf, don't go around telling everybody you are, telling that you got separated from your group or something, but don't be bragging, "Hey, I'm a lone wolf. I just came to see what I could get from you."
Yeah. Let me check one other thing else here real quick.
Hi, Tyler. I saw you come in while I was talking.
I'm checking something here, so hang on, bear with me a second. Okay. And so that kind of takes care of lone wolves. I really don't think we need to beat that puppy to death any longer.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff.
Yeah. Now the LLC is actually, in my mind, probably one of the better groups if you're going to join one, because they have everything spelled out in writing. They have all the rules in writing because they are a legal entity. And generally, LLCs will recruit doctors, dentists, nurses, professionals, plumbers and electricians and stuff like that to the group. A good LLC will build a well-rounded group of knowledgeable people. Now, one of the things that will also be required in an LLC if you join one is cross-training. You'll be expected to go learn other people's skills, because they don't want everybody to have, only a super Sam out there that knows this one skill, and if something happens to him, they have nobody that knows that skill.
Hi, shit happens. How you doing?
Hey, Schickster. So basically the LLC, they're set up as a legal company, corporation, or such. Now they will have in their bylaws what it costs to buy into them. Now, buy-in can be a one-time shot, or it can be a basic buy-in, or which is buying stock in the company. And then you have dues that you got to maintain either monthly or annually thereafter to help maintain the facility that they have.
And the dues may not be money, because if it's a SHGF situation, it may be you may have to give up some of your food or water or whatever.
Yeah,
it could be a barter. It doesn't have to be money.
Yeah, they can have it set up with you provide so much, like $50 plus, so much amount of food, or and a little bit of ammunition or whatever. They may have it. It'll be usually an LLC has it lined out exactly what it is, and it varies from LLC to LLC. Now, with their buy-ins, a lot of LLCs have tier levels. It can be as far as a basic tier level. You have a spot on their property, on their compound, to park your RV and to grow a garden. Or
zombie.
The next level up is you have the opportunity. You have a little bit more larger plot of land where you can actually build a cabin on that property. And another one maybe inside the main facility there, the main structure, they may have rooms and stuff. One of the LLCs I saw took an old silo and they converted it into like an apartment building underground. And those of the higher echelons bought a apartment in that silo. And other people had plots of land out around it, and some were building cabins, and others were setting up like some cargo containers and a pad with a septic tank to put their
I see
their
a
RV
common
on.
sense. I see a common sense. Go to the top of your thing up there. There's a thing that says private chat, and then there's another one that says live comments. Okay. You may have just clicked the wrong thing.
Okay, let me throw one up here. Okay, so got a good question here. Disable and prepping. How do I find a group of people in your own town? If in your own town okay, so your town nobody in your town believes about prepping, but there may be some people there that you just don't know about.
Yeah, this thing is to just openly, just not tell them that you're prepping, but just talk about maybe like prepping events or things that you do that pertain to prepping, and see if they'll buy into it.
Yeah, you may also there are chat boards and group finders. Let me I can't remember the one. Hang, give me 1 second here. I'm going to bring it up. It's APN is the name of the. So I got it under. It's called. Come on, change. Come on, email. Load it up. American Preppers Network. They have a newsletter out there, and they have several different prepping, networking groups that subscribe to them, and they, so you can check on them to find out if there is a group in your area that's looking for members. That's one of the ways there's survival blogs and prepping
blogs.
Facebook.
Facebook is a good place to go.
Yeah, there are on the side.
I know that I belong to some prepping and survival groups on Facebook, and they're actually from my area. I didn't even look for them. They found my just-in-time prepping group, and then they just kind of backtracked me from there. So actually go to Facebook and check out your area wherever you live, and you can actually find people by accident that way.
Yeah, there's that's one, because like on your feeds there, on your news feeds, you'll have like this little on the side there, people you may know, and every now and then, depending on what you post there, you'll find it pops up, preparedness groups or survival groups, different ones that pop up.
Healer.
And you can look at that. LLCs also, so they have their different tier levels you can get into. Now on LLC, we'll do a background check on you before they will allow you to buy in. But just like they do a background check on you,
they're more
do a
like
check on them.
They're actually more like the elite forms of homesteaders / preparers and stuff. They'll have everything in order. They won't let you in unless they know that you're going to provide for them and abide by the rules. So be careful. And if you're going to go into an LLC, make sure you got your ducks in a row.
Yeah. And number one big thing to do, don't exaggerate about your skills. Don't lie about what you have and what you can do, because that'll be the quickest way you get yourself kicked out. The one of the other things to think about, when they're going to do a background check on you, you can do a background check on them. There are several online ways to do it. Plus, there's companies all over in different towns that do background checks for companies. So you can find out about some of the key people of that group to see if they're someone you want to deal with.
Some of the easiest ones to get into, if you want to just start somewhere, would be to find a MAC or a MAG, because they're not so stringent.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there are ways you can look to find a group out there.
You can always move after you get the hang of what's going on. You can always move.
Yeah.
Or you could be enticed somewhere, or you could entice people to come your direction. But sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to start out by either forming a MAC or a MAG, or finding people with similar interest in joining one of their organizations.
Yeah.
But they're basically the same as an LLC. They just don't have a license. They just rely on each other.
Yeah, there is one of the things I found out over the years, if a lot of areas will have emergency preparedness fairs, and there will be people from preparedness groups that show up at those fairs. They generally don't set up a table, but they're there looking around, talking to people, and they're feeling people out to see if there's somebody they want to approach there. So that's one of the things you can look into there on that. So the MAG is a little in between a MAC and an LLC. A MAG basically will own property somewhere. It may be the property of the president of the MAG, and he's just formed his own group and stuff. So his position is in there permanently. He cannot be voted out as head of the MAG. But sometimes MAGs also set up themselves as a legal entity in a different way. They'll set themselves up as an S corp or a living trust. That way the property is protected from anything that happens, and the owner still maintains control of everything that way.
That way you can't have a rebellion.
Yeah. The other thing on MAGs is that they also sometimes have levels as well as the LLCs do. So they may lease out an acre to you on a quote renewable lease that you can bring in a mobile home and drop it there, or drop an RV there and leave it there, and that's your shelter when you have to bug out.
I don't see that happening, Tibor. I know some of the Dems that are preppers too, so why would they want to do that to themselves?
Yeah, exactly. And prepping,
they're actually starting to look into it pretty good too. They don't like what they see either.
Yeah. Prepping, they can't make it illegal because there are several religions that say, all right, you're supposed to have a 1 year or a 2 year or 5 years worth of food and supplies. That's part of their religion. It's not the main part, it's just a little small part, but it's like, hey, in the Bible, back when Joseph, 7 years of food is what he had Egypt prepare for the famine. And so a lot of religious groups take that to heart, that you need to prepare today as well.
Kiss my grass. I agree. I don't know how they can put a law against you catching rainwater, but they do. Rainwater is a public option.
Yeah, they try to make it a health issue, and that's usually not the state, that's the counties that are doing that. And yeah, so there's been a lot of counties taken to court, and they've lost on that. So
I always thought about it this way: what they don't know won't hurt them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. What's surprising is even in Kami, California, the state is pushing for everybody to have some sort of rain reuse system. And they're even looking at the gray water of legalizing ways to legalize and to ensure the safety of gray water systems as well.
How are they going to make it illegal, Tyler, to have stockpiling of food? Most people don't brag about having food stockpiled. They keep it under their belt.
Yeah. The Virginia law about the training people illegal, it's illegal to train a person that you know. And that's the thing in the law. It says that you know or suspect is going to use the training in an illegal manner. And so, that's the way same things are doing it. Yeah, so it's not totally training people is not illegal. It's training people that you know are going to or use it in a way. So someone is spouting on Facebook, "Oh, I'm going to go get trained and do this," and they go to some training place. The state is making it incumbent on the training place to background check that person before they train them. That's the whole thing on that there. Virginia is going to be watched, but some of my contacts back at the good old DHS are just waiting to go in there and waiting for Trump to send them in there to arrest the governor if he tries to activate the National Guard to seize firearms. So that's, whether or not that happens, don't know. But a bunch of the teams are saying, "Hey, we're ready to go." So they're ready to go in and take out the governor and his little gang there of anti-constitutionalists for violating federal law. Yeah, but mostly, I think it's going to wind up in front of the Supreme Court, and it's actually going to go to the federal district court and right on up the ladder to the Supreme Court. I suspect that the federal district court is going to put a stay on it and say, no, you can't activate and enforce this yet. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to that deadline.
I heard that the National Guard won't do anything anyway, even if they send them in there. National Guard, that is their own people. They're not going to fight their own people.
Now,
they've already said that.
Yeah. All right. We got a good question here from Ryder Dust. Wouldn't joining an LLC make you more of a focus in the eye of the government, considering there was some level? No. Considering there was some law regarding FEMA, there is no law that FEMA can take your preps away from you. That is a far left wingnut Kool-Aid propaganda BS put out there to try to stir up those in the right to doing something wrong.
It's just propaganda.
Yeah. But just because you join an LLC doesn't put you under the eyes of any governmental agency, unless that LLC has done something stupid to become a focal point of a local or county or state government or federal
they would have
government.
to be doing something pretty
exactly
pretty illegal, pretty far out there.
Yeah.
To even get anybody's attention.
Okay. All right. So we've teams. Teams are the next ones we're going to look at here. To me, teams are a double-edged sword. All right. So let's look at some of the points about teams real quick here. I already mentioned they're very structured and have a military type style of leadership. Chain of command is very important to them, as is the principles of OPSEC, CONOPS, and COMSEC.
Skills. They're very into skills.
And they're very into security and operations, and loose lips sink ships, type thing with them. You don't blab about their stuff. They recruit people into their group. People don't seek them out. Their leadership is not voted on. Whoever's in charge set the group up. They're in charge. You don't vote on who's going to be the general of the army. Same thing with them. They will have a rigid format in place for replacing a fallen leader. Most teams do not own land. If they do use some land, the land is usually owned by one of the members of the core group to avoid it being linked to a group. And they're very, very secretive about who owns their group and talking about it. So generally a team isn't well known to local, state, or federal government who's on the team unless they slip up, blow their OPSEC and COMSEC, and start flapping their lips and doing something stupid. Problem is with teams, because they are so rigid, it's not a good fit for most people.
Unless you were ex-Army Corps of Engineers or a SEAL or something like that, sniper, you probably won't want to be in those groups.
Right. Now, even some of the op guys from the military that I've talked to, most of them are like, no, I'd rather be part of a larger group where I can put my skills to work there and have other people watching my home front. So, but now the thing is, some of the different people in different groups I've talked to about this, some of them view teams, by being a double-edged sword, is that, they're good, they're all well trained, but hey, they could go rogue on us. And then we got a trained rogue gang out there, basically, that are turned into raiders. And so that's, how a lot of groups, view teams. Tribes. Tribes are, like I said, are larger than teams, but smaller than other groups. The mindset of a tribe, because generally they come together, people of like-mindedness, really like-mindedness if you want to be in a tribe. Their ideology, their ideals may become more intense and ritualistic as life gets harder after a HSTF or Tawaki event. And they may, isolate themselves more and become more ritualistic in keeping their own things together. So that's one of the possible backsides of a tribe, is that it has a chance to become more isolated and, mistrusting of other people just on the general things. Now, tribes may or may not own land. Most of them won't. They plan just to go into the national park or the state park or forest areas and set their stuff up after the balloon goes up. So, usually in a tribe, their leadership, isn't voted on. It's pretty well core hard set. And so that's something else you got to watch out about. Now,
if a guy shows he's more driven to be the successor than Joe Blow down the line, then he's going to be the one. It's almost like, what do they call that? Shoot, I can't think of it. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. But shoot, I wish my brain would quit doing that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, they can. Some of the leaders can get slightly paranoia out there, even from their own group sometimes. And that can happen to leaders of any group, really. Villages are more open. They're almost like a MAC in one way, but rather than circling the wagons and protect and fortifying themselves like a MAC will, they look to look forward to after the event, after the year or so, after what a lot of groups call the die-off, which is supposedly going to happen the first and second winter following a major HHEF or Tawaki event. When those that aren't prepared run out of food and die off or get killed off trying to steal other people's food. The villages, like they also probably, some of them are planning to go to rural areas or national parks, state parks, national forests.
And they're very small villages. Will be very small numbers.
And they plan to go out, set up for a little bit, find a place, hunker down for a little bit, and then come back to abandoned properties or abandoned towns or whatever, and reestablish.
And they'll usually only have one leader.
Some villages sometimes will have can have one leaders, but most of the ones I've talked to, the groups that have come to me seeking advice and stuff, they're actually have their leaders elected, so they don't have that problem of someone becoming a dictator in their group. And some of them even say, "Hey, we're going to hold elections every 2 years." Same person may get elected over and over again, like in Congress. If they're doing a good job, fine, but there's a better chance for them to get kicked out if they're not doing a good job leading their group. For a village, there may or may not be set joining requirements in regards to what supplies and skills you need to bring. Some do have, say, we want people with certain skills, and those are the ones we're going to allow into our village, because they don't want to wind up having 20 blacksmiths and nobody knows how to make clothing. So villages want to have a well-rounded skill set in their village so that they can grow. And they'll do a lot of growing after the event, after the die-off, when
they'll actually be looking for like blacksmiths and seamstresses and
doctors
that just so that they have everybody covered by skill set.
Yeah. Now, so their big plan is afterwards is for a lot of them is to establish a community where businesses and trades can grow after the event, and to try to return to somewhat of a normal civilization. It may not be a civilization of 2020 or 20 or 2000 or 1945 or 1800. It may be back in the 1700s type or 1500 type village.
Hey, Stringfield, how you doing?
Hey guys. So that's the way villages has the opportunity for growth after the event. Those I talked to, they're not trying to gear up for military operations before and during the event. And that's the only problem I see with the villages. They may wind up getting wiped out because they're not focusing on defense. To me, a lot of the villages reminds me of some of the hippie communes.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, we were going to avoid people. Don't bother us. We're no threat to you. And then afterwards, they want to come back and rebuild. Now, so that's what I think on villages. Now, wolf packs or nomads are those that are they've looked at everything. They've looked at the MACs. They've looked at the LLCs. They just don't feel comfortable about those type of groups, villages, whatever. And they've, it could be several family groups, neighbors, friends, whatever. But their plan is to pack up and leave and keep moving so they don't become a target for several years until everything's settled down and some normalcy has started to return to the world. Now,
they're like the geeks of the SHTF event. They'd rather lay low and just keep on going than settle down and take the chance of being overrun.
Exactly. but they you will find with them people that raise sheep, goats, cows, where they're going to have their animals and they're going to be moving with their animals. Most likely, the wolf packs and nomads will have horses and ox and cows, move their stuff, like a wagon train, if you will, or the mobile tents and stuff. You probably, in my thinking, and guys, let me know what you think about this. I don't see very many nomads being up in the northern states, because if you're out in tents and stuff moving around, it's going to get mighty cold. Like right now, well, most of the day here. Let me check here. I'll tell you what the temperature is right now. Refresh that, because this morning it was it made it up to 23 degrees right now. I tell you, I don't want to be out in a tent in 23 degrees.
Kiss my grass. That's a good idea of getting into ham radios. You should be doing it now while you still can. It's $15 to take the basic test, and you can take
and
4 tests to be general.
Yeah.
But it doesn't cost very much, and very simple to learn.
And your license is good for 10 years, and it's free to renew.
$15 is pretty dirt cheap to learn how to communicate around the world.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about the wolf packs and the nomads. They will be using radios to see what's going on and around them, so they don't wander into a bad situation. But the problem with the wolf packs is it's going to be a hard lifestyle. Most people aren't going to be cut out for it. Of course, a year or two after a HSTF or Tawaki event, a lot of more people are going to be realizing, okay, they've put up with all that suffering. It's like, okay, moving around is not that hard. So you may see a year or so after the event more wolf pack type and nomad groups showing up, wandering around. But yeah, so that's my thing. Okay, statement here. After, let me see what this. Let's talk about this here. I think there's a real danger of a communist state of some sort, Islamic state, coming in and taking over the. Okay. It depends on what the event is, because there are a lot of SHTF events, and they're not the worst events. The worst events are Tawaki events, the end of the world as we know it events. An SHTF event will take 5 to 15 years to recover from. A Tawaki event will take decades or generations to recover from. And generally a Tawaki event is worldwide, so they ain't gonna be coming nowhere if it's a Tawaki event. There's the ships and stuff. They can't count on those being operational and functioning after a Tawaki style event. But yeah, the thing is, you don't have to worry about them coming in, Ryder Dust. There are already communities here that do not believe in the principles of the United States. They come here because, it's freedom. We can do whatever we want there. But hey, we hate them. They're a bad form of government. We need to instill our communist form of government, our fascist form of government, our Islamic form of government, our whatever form of government it is. But they come here because, they recognize that we have more freedoms than they do in their country, a lot more freedoms. So
that's right. SOP's got it right, you guys. Rule number 1: never underestimate your enemy.
Yeah, let me scroll back down here. All right, I saw
Tibor saying the Native Americans didn't pitch their teepees and stay in one place very long, and that's right, they didn't. What they did was they'd pull up tit stakes when it was time to go to the next spot where the big game was to hunt.
Yeah.
That's how they did it. They migrated with the animals.
Yeah, the only ones of the Native Americans that had set communities pretty much were the ones back east, where they had the trying to think now. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied here. Some of the like the Cherokee, the Modak, the Mohawk, and some of the other ones back along the on the East Coast there, they had wooden structures and stuff that they didn't move very often because they had plentiful game. They were able to farm that area. They grew food. They respected the land. They knew how to cultivate the land without destroying it. And so that back there, but you get out here into the Midwest and stuff, the Plains Indians and stuff, yeah, they moved all over the place. And they followed the buffalo, which was their one of their main source of food. The Navajos down in Arizona and stuff, sometimes they set up permanent locations. If you want to see that, go to Lake Powell. They got some of the cliff dwellers there where they had dwellings where they lived, and they went out and hunted and brought food back. Hey, howdy garden. Welcome here. Yeah, the Pueblo Indians. Yeah, Pueblo Indians. Very important. In other groups, there were groups that set up, permanent structures and lived there. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to say that we, white people, if you will, us of Anglo-European descent, when we came to this country, had our heads up our
Yep.
And we did not know. We thought they thought themselves so much better. They had their nose so high in the air, they could not see the skills and the benefits that the Native Americans had. I mean, yeah. But if you're looking for a preparedness survival group, make sure what their beliefs are, that they're not planning on becoming a fiefdom, a monarchy of their own afterwards. One of my favorite novel series was called The Survivalist by Jerry Ahern. And the main character was John Thomas Rourke. And he was a former doctor who got tired of patching people together and wanted to do something about it, became a CIA operative, got disillusioned with that and quit, and just became a trainer of people and stuff for survival and stuff. Anyways, after the event in the book, he hooks up with an editor, a magazine editor, Paul Rubenstein, and he's teaching Paul Rubenstein along the how to do things through a lot of the books and stuff. But one of the things he points out to Paul is, because Paul had heard survivalists are all whack jobs, they're out to go out in a blaze of glory, and he says, no, that's not true. A survivalist is one who survives. And he goes, and I believe in this creed. I will survive so I can make my family survive. My family and I will survive so we can help our friends to survive. My family, my friends, and I will survive so we can help our community to survive. Our community will survive so we can help our country to survive. That's the survivalist creed. It's not what the whack jobs that are out for their own good in the political government or the counterfeit news networks are trying to get us sensationalized for their own ratings and stuff, try to portray a survivalist or a prepper as. Because originally, if back in the 60s, they were self-reliant people, and then it became survivalists. And then survivalists got a bad term, so now it's preppers. And now the preppers are getting a bad name with doomsday preppers and those other,
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, all those whack job shows being put out by National Geographic trying to build up their ratings by, making other people look bad, namely the preparedness community or the self-reliant community. So,
you know what? If I were to probably have anything to say to anybody about how you would look for a group to join, take the time to sit down with a notebook and write down everything that would be important to you. What would you want to do to survive yourself? Before you ever go out to find the people that you want to live with or have live with you, write down what you would expect. I mean, and be serious, take some time and actually write it all down. When you get the whole list put together, then you'll know what you need to do and who you need to go seek out. Because you want to make sure that you're staying with people that are like-minded. You cannot live with people that don't think the same way you do. So that would be my suggestion to anybody that's thinking about joining a MAC or a MAG or a tribe or whatever. Write down what's important to you first, so that you know where you fit in into the list.
Yeah, it's you want to if you have a list of your priorities, your beliefs, and your goals from a preparedness or survival group, take that list with you when you talk to them. When you talk to some of them and say, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Are you that? Show me in your charter or whatever it is you have. I want to see what your guys' plans are." But don't always take what they say on face value. And you're not going to get to know someone over a cup of coffee real well. You can get, so if the hair stand up in your back of your head, okay, yeah, that's a sign to cut and run. You don't want to be part of that group.
Don't tip your hand. Don't tip everything you got in your hand.
Yeah.
Take the time to check them out thoroughly.
Yeah.
Maybe only feed them crumbs.
Yeah.
You guys know what we're talking about here. We're all adults in the room.
Yeah, but don't lie to them, because if you do find a group and you've lied to them, they're not going to want you.
Yeah, they're not going to trust you.
And so, yeah, it's, sometimes your best resources, like, let me put this one up here. Like Jehoiadak says, his neighbors, so people acquaintances, people you've learned to trust and they learn to trust you, sometimes that turns out to be your best resources.
That's probably right there, Maccabeus. You live with your neighbors longest over time, It's not, it's not like you see them every day or anything, but just from being around them.
Okay, someone wants to know the name of the book I just, okay, so let me do it this way here. So give me a second here. While I'm talking, I'm going to try to work this out here. The
Survivalist is the best book I know of.
Yeah, it's what I've got introduced to Jerry Ahern back when I was going through the police academy back in '86. So let me type in Jerry A.H. Ahern books, Kindle store. I'm going into Amazon so I can show it to you here. Okay, so let me take this one here, put this one over here, and see if this works right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, boy, is write down everything that's important to you.
All right, so I'm going to
because most people will think for themselves, but there's groups out there where that's all they want are people that think for themselves. So you write down everything. I mean, everything, whether it's little, minuscule or big, just write it all down so that it doesn't hurt to write it down anyway. Just so that after over a period of time, you uh, learn what's important to you. You know.
Okay, so here you go on Kindle for $3. You can get the first book is called Total War, the Survivalist series, by Jerry Ahern. He has his own page there. He has several other book series which are pretty good too. Let me get over on the right page here to make it move. So actually, in the series it says 27 here. Actually, it goes higher. I think it's up to like 36 now. His wife and a good friend of his have taken over writing the series after Jerry passed away. Jerry also used to write for Guns and Ammo and Field and Stream, and he used to go and he had several books that he wrote out there that were on his own stuff here. There's Jerry Ahern page. There's Jerry, great guy. There's the series of books, you know, going on. See, it's an Audible. See if I can find some of his other ones. Werewolf ones. Yeah. Sharon Ahern, his wife, they write that. Earthfire, but they wrote a bunch of the Freeman series, the Defender series. So go ahead and pull this back now. Yeah, so Jerry wrote a lot of stuff, and you know he was not way out there. He was a moderate conservative, but he believed strongly in the Second Amendment and the right to protect yourself. Yeah. Sometimes your neighbors aren't the best ones around. So yeah, but you've got if you get along with the people and you have the same ideals and the same desires, you can start your own group with them and recruit other people to your group. Now, if you go to start your own group, there's going to be a headache.
There's a heck of a learning curve there, guys, if you start your own.
And there's more than there's resources on it, and a lot of people more willing to give you advice as far as what to do. Let me pull this other thing back up here on the side here. But it's going to it's going to take a lot of paperwork to write down ideas, rules. You can have meetings on it. You're going to get bogged down. You're going to get disheartened. But remember, don't expect to get it done in one day.
Born in a day.
Yeah, it's going to take you 6 months, a year to get a core group established and get something functional. Everybody agrees on the principles and the bylaws of your group. And that's one thing, if you form a group, you want to have written bylaws of what is expected of anybody that goes into it. And I'm looking here for a reference here, so excuse me while I look over the side here. Trying to find his name here. He runs a blog. Okay. James Wesley Rawls of Survival Blog puts out some suggestions. However, word to the wise, take whatever he says with a teaspoon of salt. Some of the stuff he put out there, I've shot down, and some of it I've said, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. One of the things I've shot down is he goes, if you have set up someplace up in the woods, get some property, get some cargo containers and you can lock your stuff up there and it'll be secure. Do you know how fast it takes me to get into a cargo container? depending on the lock they have on it. If they just use the handles and lock it, I'll walk up to a 4-pound hammer and I'll be inside that container in less than 10 seconds. So that's one of the things that he suggests, that, cargo containers are not all that secure. Ask any construction company that's had their cargo containers on a job site broken into. Tibor, never been stabbed in the back by an enemy, only happened with so-called friends. So yeah, it's, even with family members will stab you in the back. It's, human nature is a fickle animal, but you can't just go, oh, I'm not going to trust anybody. I'm going to lone wolf it, because we already talked about what's going to happen to the lone wolf. You're going to get out there, you're going to get injured, you're going to starve to death, you're going to get attacked by an animal, you're going to get attacked by other group. There is, sometimes you have to venture forth with a little bit of open-handed trust, but that doesn't mean go in with rose-colored glasses on either. Not everybody, especially in this day and age, is exactly what they're seeing, especially on Facebook. One of my things I post probably twice a year on Facebook to everybody that follows me and stuff is, all right, guys, here's my wish for you for the year. I'll probably do it after New Year's. May your life in real life be as exciting and as fruitful as your life on Facebook.
I don't post hardly anything on the main page. Mine through my just-in-time prepping group. My main page is for family, and that's it, basically.
Yeah. So,
it's all fake stuff over there.
Yeah. And then, through Jack's camera, he's saying there, lone wolves were usually trader trappers who travel from village to village. When we're talking SHTF or Tawaki lone wolves, they're more reclusive. They're more like the hermits that rarely come to town. A trader might be more along the lines of the wolf pack or a nomad. They go in, they trade, and they move on. They travel around. The type of lone wolves you're talking, those are the mountain men. They went up into the woods to be alone, to do stuff, but their plan was to come back and to deal with other people. The lone wolves in a survival situation, they don't want to deal with people. That's their plan. They're just going to go it alone. Because the mountain men and the trappers, they had to buy traps when they broke. They had to buy musket powder. They had to buy the musket shots, blankets and stuff. They traded for stuff they needed. They weren't going it totally self-sufficient alone. It's like both Steve at Corsair's Trainer and Anthony at Palmetto Prepared said, you can't really go it alone and cut yourself off from civilization, because, hey, did you make your shoes? Did you weave the cloth?
You're gonna need something.
Did you make those clothes? Did you weave the cloth that the clothes are made from? Did you make that sewing needle? Did you make that thread? No, you get stuff from other people. You have to depend on other people. And so if you want to add a ninth group in there, the mountain man trapper, that may be an option, And sometimes the mountain men trappers of old, they went together, they had their rendezvous. Some of them went out and worked together and trapped an area, so they had someone watching their back, someone they could depend on. Yes, weren't trappers, etc. Guides also? Yeah, the trappers originally became guides for people heading west. And for John Fremont, when he led his survey expedition out, he hired a bunch of trappers and stuff to help guide him through and deal with the Indians and trade with them, so he could get to where he was going. Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's put that one up here. Today's children are weak. wrap them in bubble wrap and overprotect them. They might not make it. No, you're not kidding. It's serious. There are so many of today's kids that, and I found this out being a scoutmaster. So many of today's kids are going to have a psychological breakdown when the internet dies. Their life revolves around their smart device. If they're not on texting and everything else, they're gonna that's their social interaction. It's not really face to face a lot of the time. My son was telling me about kids in class. He sat in the back of the class one time and he watched all the kids under the desk texting while they're, with one hand while they're taking notes with the other.
Yeah, right, Tyler. They weren't very social. They just came out of the mountains long enough to get what they needed, and back they went.
Yeah. So I would try to trade materials for meats first. Okay. Yeah, and this whole thing about trading, that's the mindset of a lot of villages. They want to set up be a trading post to grow from that. And I think that's a good idea and a good noble idea. But unfortunately, like I said, a lot of the village groups that I've talked to or have come to me for information, I tell them, hey, you need the guns, you're going to need the crossbows, the bows and arrows, and you're going to need to train in that as well. Don't make that your entire focus like some groups do. Your group needs to be well-rounded. You need to have a little bit of training in firearms, a little bit training hand to hand, a little bit training in first aid, and paramedic training, a little bit of training in cooking, canning, leatherworking, tanning, hunting, trapping, gardening. There's a lot of stuff to learn. And it's hard to know it all. That's why you have a group. You have a group, someone who's a really good in trapping and stuff, someone who's a really good gardener, someone who's a fantastic cook and is willing to train other people. We know so much about crap that's not going to help us after the balloon goes up, whether it's just an HSTF where it's going to take 15 years to recover from, or whether it's a Tawaki event it's going to take a generation to recover from, or two.
You gonna leave this chat up after you're done? You gonna let it go public?
Oh yeah, all my stuff goes onto my you can see all my my live streams on my channel there. So yeah, everything will be reviewable. You can afterwards, if you want to, you can download this. I don't care. I would love people to download this and keep this and refer back to it. All right. Here's the thing. Listen carefully, folks. I am very selfish when it comes to emergency preparedness. But what you're talking about, yeah, I'm selfish in this way. I want everybody to be prepared so nobody's coming after my shit.
Yep.
That's where I'm selfish. I don't want anybody coming after me or my family because they didn't get prepared. That's why I want everybody to get prepared. Everybody to know how to raise a plant a garden. Everyone should know how to plant a garden and how to can the excess they raise. Hey, it's just good sense. How much do you pay for a watermelon or a cut up watermelon cantaloupe little bowl in the grocery store? It's exorbitant. Plant a garden, grow the stuff, save the money. So there's a lot of things that you can do on your own to better yourself. Get with I think a group is good because a group has other skills that you don't have. You can trade for things. Our neighbor across the street here, my daughter had those 3 geese, which they kept getting out and they wanted to get rid of. So I guess they traded 1 or 2 of them off to the neighbor across the street to show them how to butcher and process the geese. hey, traded. They got some goose meat out of it and stuff, and learned how to do a little bit. Learned a little bit.
Hey, geese are good watchdogs.
Yeah, but the problem we have here, do you know where they like to poop? Right in front of the door, on the cement right in front of the door. But and they couldn't keep them in the pen, so oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna throw that up there. Bingo. I'm gonna throw some of these things up here really quick here. Smoke or salt meat is a skill a lot of people don't know about. All right, backup ways to cook, heat, gain heat and stuff. Yeah, my mother taught me to sew. In fact, I have the old Netchi sewing machine my mother had before I was born. I have it still, and it still works. Leatherworking. Foraging, cooking, sewing. Yeah, you see, you guys have it out there, and the thing to do is to find people that have the skills that you don't. If you're new to my channel, you haven't looked at something, go back. Let me see. I'll put it up here for you here. Let me bring this down here. Bring up the one playlist. There is a video, which actually it's a couple videos that are a series for you to look at. Emergency preparedness. There we go. Okay, so this one right here, go to this playlist here. Come on, it's thinking. Anyways, the first video, is it going to pop up here, right? Okay, so here's the playlist. The first one, Planning for Emergencies, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I used to put this, this is all part of my emergency preparedness series I'm working on for this winter. But that planning for emergencies is something I used to do as the emergency manager for Homeland Security when I would go speak at preparedness fairs and stuff. And that's the presentation that I would give at preparedness fairs. And usually I had a full classroom every time I did it. And one of the slides in there talks about different skills that you might want to learn for an emergency and or disasters and for HSTF or a Tawaki event. And the skills start off with first aid is the first skill on there. But then it talks about animal husbandry and goes all the way up to a fictional skill, which is the last skill I put in there, which is zombie killing. Because everybody's big into zombies these days, so I threw that skill in there. But it has real skills in there. Plumbing, woodworking, wood carving is different than woodworking. Carpentry, concrete working, metal working, farrier, blacksmith, animal husbandry, horticulture, aquaponics, first aid, wilderness survival first aid, tons of skills that you can learn. Now, should everyone expect to learn everything? No. Will, do you know everything?
No. That's why I got books and notebooks full of notes everywhere.
Exactly. And some people have told me, well, books get too heavy. I can't pack the books with me because I have 100 books is a lot of stuff. Well, yeah. Ever heard of a CD or a DVD or
a little bit, Timor, a little bit.
A 5 terabyte hard drive? You can put a lot of PDFs of books on this bad boy. You can probably put several hundred pounds worth of books on one of those. Now, as far as that terabyte drive I showed, or a DVD data disk, yeah, the terabyte external drives are susceptible to electromagnetic interference. You just got to but the DVDs are affected if you scratch it. So, each different type of way of storing data is susceptible to a weakness. It has a weakness. Each one has a plus. The DVD, you can hold a magnet up to it, and it ain't going to do nothing to it. Hold a magnet up to that drive, it's wiped clean. So you drop the drive, you can break it. You drop the DVD, if it's in its case, it's just going to bounce. So I traded water heater installation for 2 goats. Hey, there you go. Someone's, on a train. Oh, that's bad. Kiss my grass.
That is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Steve, how are you doing?
Hey, Steve. All right, everybody. So, like I mentioned, Steve, Corsair Trainer, just popped in here. He's made some good points about, about the, going it alone. Well, you really can't go it alone. You need to work with people, But he has some really good stuff over there. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Corsair Trainers.
Thanks a lot, Tibor.
So check him out when you can. His motto is making fewer victims. And so he loves to share knowledge.
It's my back, brother.
And he has the skills. He really has the skills and the background to back up what he says. Now, he won't be talking about gardening because, like he says, he knows nothing about gardening, but he knows all these other skills. So, yeah, I would love to have Steve leave California and come up to Idaho and be part of my group up here. But he's headed the underground in California, trying to save it from the demons, the demon-crats. All right, go ahead, type in there, Steve. Go ahead and type in Wolverines.
You probably already chased him out.
Yeah. Thanks, Gil. There it is, Wolverines. So, yeah. Now, let me get back here on something real quick here. Where am I? Before I lose my total memory. So where are we at here? We are at, all right, we only got 15 watching. So, all right, so we got 15 people in here. I got something special for you, 15. If you didn't see the video I just put out on the update on my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. All right, somebody in here did. And
hey,
today,
Gil, this is my VR to your giveaway.
Okay. Yeah, but see, you got to do it on your channel so it gets out to everybody to subscribe to you. Here's what happened today. Somebody responded to my video I put out, and I'm not sure how many more have joined since that we've been on the live stream here. But there's been 5 people that have come over from his video today, his shout out video today. And so, bring it up here so I can see it again. So, Grampy Campy is now in first place on the giveaway.
Wait a minute, I thought I was in first place.
He came and bumped you today.
Oh, that darn guy.
Yeah, so hey, even though you've done one shout out video, hey, do another. Get more people, try to get someone else over here, guys. So right now, Grampy Campy is in first place to get that all that stuff on the first place one there. And let me pull that up, just a quick little thing here. Where is it here? Actually, I got it here. It's faster to bring it up this way here. Short message. Don't miss out. Bring this over here. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just multitasking here again. And
take your time. I'm slipping a bomb over to Campy Grampy.
All right, this is what the first place prize is. All this is in the first place prize here. Reflex gun sight, which Will donated for this. A Camelback Eddy water bottle with a filter in it. Rasic 3-piece gun cleaning kit. A knife with a flint striker, ferro rod striker on it. A 5-piece expandable marshmallow, squirrel, hot dog fork, whatever you want to call it. A Forever Match, emergency whistle, P51 can opener, and a P38 can opener. I've added that to it. 11-in-1 stainless steel credit card size wallet tool. A couple credit card size magnifiers, and some more stuff as well. So, don't want to make us too big. So, get this back up here now. So yeah, so that's just the first place. So blah blah blah. Grampy Campy is now in first place on that.
Hey, North Star.
Hey, Kathy. Got a question here. How do you prevent a Lord of the Flies from happening? Well, that's why when you're whatever group you're looking at, you want to make sure it doesn't have I don't like permanently in place leaders. I like voted on leaders. I like groups that have a provision to have every 2 years, every year, every 5, something, every 3 years, whatever it is, where they vote to have leaders. And it's best, hey, put term limits on them too. Hey, you can't serve more than 2 times in a row, or you can only serve 1 term at a time. Someone else has to serve in between you. So so that's one way you can look at, preventing Lord of the Fly type, stuff going over the top, and somebody that had a little short mustache from taking over. All right, see you in a little bit. Kiss my grass. So yeah, there's let's see what's that. Yeah, all right, Dave, tell your people to say that if they came from you, to tell me that they came from you. All right. So yeah, so you guys put out a video, a shout out video. Make sure you tell them. Make sure you say that I sent you over, like Camp Grampy did. That's why Grampy Campy. That's why he took first place today in the giveaway. Yeah, remember there are 10 prize winners, plus the grand prize winner. The grand prize winner gets that.
Why would I want to win my sight back?
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Well, you told me you wanted to pay it forward to.
I do. I want to pay it forward to Happy Camper or Happy Prepper.
Yeah.
Happy Prepper.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, guys, hey, there's still plenty of chances to get in there and win stuff. I've actually added some more stuff to the prizes as well. So, but yeah, so you have a good there is still a good chance. If you put out a shout out video and nobody responded, put out another one.
Slap that like button, you guys. Come on. Slap it. Knock it off the wall.
Yeah, I'm at right now. I'm just going to do a little shout out for myself. I'm at what did I say here earlier? 670. No, 669. I'm at 669 right now.
669.
Yeah. So that I would love to make it to 1,000 so I can start getting monetized, so I can start having giveaways to give stuff away to you guys all the time. But yeah, now Will, is it the first of the year or the 20th or whatever it is in January that they're going to bump it up to the?
Oh, they haven't said yet.
Okay, because I know they were at first. They said they were going to do it on the 10th of December, and they kicked it back. So, and then I heard they were supposed to do
They
it on
might
the
have caught
1st.
too much heck for it and decided not to do it. You never know what those guys do.
I hope they did. Hope they did for everybody out there that's getting close to 1,000. Yeah. You know, when I first got into this, I wasn't trying to get monetized, guys. I was just trying to help people out, and I still am. But if I get monetized, then I can give supplies away to you guys from it. Hey, Ryan the gamer. All right. Firing Squad. Hi, Firing Squad. And let me get this back up here. Did I do Ryan in here on this yet? It's going so fast. Let me get back up here. Ryan the gamer. Ryan. Okay. Let me go ahead and do this. I got to do something here for Ryan. Okay. All right, Ryan. You're now a moderator in here.
Oh, shoot.
What?
You're going to make him a moderator?
Hey, he does a good job protecting your channel.
I'm telling you, he's the best.
Okay, so guys, Uncle Al, Bullfrog, 79 there in the chat. He needs 90 to get to 1,000. So if you're not subscribed to Uncle Al, go over there, subscribe to him, ring his bell.
Yeah, tell him I sent you.
Uncle Al is, he says he's a little bit crazy, but he's crazy like a fox. He has a lot of knowledge and a lot of good ideas. So check Uncle Al out over there. Southern Ohio Prepping is another good channel there. I'm looking at all these channels. Anybody in the side chat here, everybody I can see here is a good channel. Kathy at North Star Prepper, David at Southern Ohio Prepping, Ryan the Gamer,
R Swamp, how you doing?
R Swamp, yeah, another guy in California. They're fighting the fight against the demons. So, yeah, Blue Healer has a good channel too. I mean, all of you guys got a lot of good channels here. I got lucky, had a lot of great subscribers. So if you see somebody in the side chat there, check them out. All right, we're a great community here. A lot of great ideas. I've been doing emergency preparedness since 1971. I know
go over and see Gil. Check out Gil at Camp Patton Family Compound. He's a pretty good channel. Tell him I sent you.
So like I said, I've been doing it since 1971. I look that old, but yeah, okay, I'm missing all the hair up here. And the gray is starting to come in here big time. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've been training. I've been the emergency management coordinator for Homeland Security. I don't know everything. I am learning a lot. I am constantly learning. I'm learning stuff we used to do doesn't work, and we're no longer teaching that. Yeah. So the hours is 4,000 hours.
4,000 hours. Yeah.
1,000 subscribers, and then you can get monetized. But yeah, help everybody out here, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of good information out there on the homesteading community I'm involved with. I'm learning a lot about canning stuff that I forgot when I was a little kid. I haven't canned in quite a few years. And it's like, oh man, we never pressure canned. We always did water bath canning. I've learned a lot from Anthony at Palmetto Prepared. I've learned a lot from Nana, the canning ninja. She's also there in California. I've learned some from Stringfield Ridge, Two Family Homestead.
4,000 is watch time.
Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of great people out there. You can learn a lot. The people in the homesteading community that are actually doing this stuff, guys, they have some really good stuff out there. All righty.
All right, I've done enough. I gotta go.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in. Tyler, are you still around here? Or did you sneak
Who's
out?
gonna take my spot up here on the panel with Gil?
Tyler, you want to come up here? I think this is how this works. I think that's the right link. Tyler, you want to come up there? I think I put the correct link out there.
I'll see you guys later. I go live at 8 o'clock, you guys, if you want to come look for me.
I'll try, but my wife is coming in about an hour and a half from California, so I'm gonna have to help her unload the car and everything. So I may not be able to make it up there, Will. I will try.
All right. Night.
All right. Yeah, Brastard, I'm at the same point there. I have 670, so yeah, I've been slowly gaining today, thanks to Grampy Campy today. He's sending a bunch of people over to me today. All right. Yeah, anybody want to come up here and join me up here? I think I put the proper link in there. Let me double check and go back into my, oh wow, my inbox jumped up to 25. Sent. This, make sure I put the right link in there. I think that was the right link. Let me, come on, mouse work. My mouse is not wanting to work right now. There it goes. Yeah. Control C, try that again, make sure that was the correct link. Looks like it, yeah, okay. So back to here, all right. Yeah, so whatever, when you're looking at a group, these are some of the skills you need to look at of people in the group when you're talking to them. You know, find out, do they have people that know how to can? Do they have people that know how to do trapping, do leather working? Do they have seamstresses, or do they have people that know how to work a loom? And that's a skill that is very rare to find. And that's probably in a major Twaki situation where everything is down and it's going to take 20, 30 years for the country to recover from it. You know, there's going to be, you are going to be able to scrounge and salvage materials from abandoned homes and stuff. But you want to find, if you can, you don't want to go it alone. You want to find a group, create a group, join a group, whatever, that has a diverse skill set, and preferably one where you have multiple people in that group already that have that skill set. Blacksmithing, farrier. Now, farrier and blacksmith are two different things. A farrier is what shoes the horses. A blacksmith works the steel. He makes the shoes. He makes wagon wheels. He works, he does that stuff. A farrier actually works with the animal and shoes the animal, takes that shoe, shapes it right so it fits on the horse. All right. So, you try to recruit a doctor of some sort. You'd be surprised how many doctors are getting nervous and actually see the writing on the wall and want to learn some prepping skills. So, anybody popping in down here? No, nobody's popping in right now. So, anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of skills works that you really, that's what I'm looking for. You really need to make sure that there's in that group. Plumbers, engineers, structural engineers is probably going to be a skill that most groups forget to recruit. A structural engineer can help you build your water wheel, can help you build your grist mill. that runs off a stream. Can help you design equipment that you're going to need to build later on. And so there's, and so engineers is one that most people forget about. Plumbers. Now you think, well, we're going to go using outhouses in the HTF or the Tawaki situation. There's not going to be any city water, city sewer. Yeah, who says you can't build your own system? You need a plumber to be able to build your own system. Think about it, guys. You don't have to rely on the big governments to provide sanitation. Communities can do it themselves. When I was in my junior and senior in high school, was in the small town of Fredonia, Arizona, and they built their own sewer system. They built their own water system there. My dad helped them take care of it because when they first built it, they didn't do things quite as well as they could have. They had problems, and he went in there. My dad was a machinist and an engineer. Went in there and fixed the stuff for them. The town I'm in now, most small towns, as small as the one I'm in here in Idaho, do not have city water and city sewer. Mine does. Everybody's pulled together and they realize that's something they want. So when everything else goes down, my town here will still have water and sewer because they designed it that way. Any other points anybody wants to bring up? Any help here? Come on up here. Okay, Kathy doesn't want to come up. Tyler, you want to come up? Anybody else? I put the links out there. Just click on the link and it'll kind of walk you through it. Got to make sure you have either earbuds or some way because you don't get feedback on the channel. All right, all right. Here we go. And actually, my oldest son, who's coming up here, has one more class for his engineering degree. Yeah, I'll pull your Corsair trainer made a comment too on this. Yeah, and the Romans had some really, really smart engineers because they did not have any calculators or computers to do stuff on. They had their paper and their little whatever they had. I don't know if they had slide rules back then or not, or what they had to calculate stuff with. But the Romans had an amazing water system engineering job where they brought water from miles and miles and miles away and brought it into Rome and the other cities. Now, when the power goes out, during an SHTF or a Tawaki situation, when we start losing the power grid, it's going to be a domino effect on every other thing because what uses power? What uses electricity? It's, everything. We no longer have textile industry that runs on steam or water wheels. It's all on electricity. So that's, one of the things that we may need to worry about if things go back. And even if it doesn't happen, guys, even if things don't happen, it's good to have skills. It's good to have knowledge. Canning hunting, food preserving, dehydration, freeze drying, making jerky. It's all good skills to know and use. There's, just a lot of good stuff to do. All right. Oh, wrong. Yeah, there we go. That's one of the skills my wife and I want to learn, is how to can meat and do it properly. Yeah, we can probably can meat and do it wrong and get sick and, have to talk to Montezuma for about a month. But yeah, so learning the proper way of canning, preserving meat. If you can go, like out here where I'm in and across a lot of the midsection of the country, where a lot of the people here are, you go out and hunt. Some of the areas we're talking about, they have their hunting permit allows them to take multiple deer or elk, or an elk, a deer, a bear, multiple things. It doesn't cost that much to go hunting. It's a little bit of work, yeah, a little work to dress it out. If you know how to process that meat yourself without having to take it to a butcher, that's more money you're going to save. How much money, think about it, how much money do you spend on meat a year? Hamburger, steaks, pork chops, whatever meat you're doing, how much do you spend on it on a year if you're not raising it yourself? We plan to, well, my daughter raised a bunch of chickens. We got an upright freezer that's half full of frozen chickens, and these aren't little small, these are big birds. I got 3 other chest freezers up here ready to go. Next year I'm going to go on a deer hunt, so I'm going to be bringing home some venison and doing that. We're also going to try to hunt some elk. That's going to save us a lot of time, because if you hunt elk is, and my dad used to say elk was better than beef, cow beef, because elk meat, he goes, he said it was a lot better, nicer, tasted better. But you do the same thing with it. You can make steaks, you can make roasts, you can ground it up for hamburger. You can do anything you can do with a cow, you can do with an elk. Hogs, pigs. We're planning to possibly getting a couple pigs here on the compound. I want to get some of the Kiko and Spanish goats, like Daniel Arms has, and Keeping It Dutch and Hidden Heights Farm. Goat meat is relative, they're saying it's really good and you can do a lot with it. So I've watched several other channels as well talk about it. So that is one of the things I want to do. So there's a lot of things that I want to do, and I really think a lot of you should do it too, because I'm selfish. I don't want you coming after my stuff. I want you to have your own stuff. So, all right. All right, so I'm going to throw. You guys are putting some good points in the chat here. I'm going to put it up there. Yeah, chickens is one of the things my wife wants to have. My wife wants to have 2 different types of chickens. She wants ones that we keep in the pen that we raise for meat. And there's a type, I'm not sure what breed of chicken it is, but the ones that you can have out in the garden that will go after the pests and stuff and everything else in the garden. She wants to have a garden that's designed for the chickens to be able to go, a couple chickens to go through and to help keep the pests down. So, okay, so, all right, I'm sorry, I got to look this up, figure out what type of animal this is. ORYX. And those of you who don't know, I got my one monitor here in front of me. I got another monitor off to the side. So when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the second monitor. Oh, cool. So those that don't know what this is, let me show you here. I'm gonna actually wait. I can do it the other way. I can do it the other way. Da 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 da. Let me go it bigger. Let me go do it bigger. There we go. So that's what he's talking about right there. All right. So it's an antelope type. Okay. And let's go back to this. There we go. Did I just lose it? Our swamp, generally, yeah, but there is a gardening process out there that my wife has been looking into for the last couple of years, and there's a couple families in California that are doing it, where they don't put a lot of chickens out there, just a couple, and the chickens will go after the bugs before they go after the plants. So you got to make sure your ratio is right on whether you have yeah, depending on how you do it. So yeah, yes, I've seen. I'm subscribed to Wes S. I follow him as well. He's got some good stuff there. He's on Monday morning. He's usually on there with us on Steve. Of course, there's Trainers Monday morning chat. Okay, our swamp, good for you. Go for it. We had 2 milk cows when I was a junior, senior in high school, and the next 3 years after that. If I never have to milk a cow again, it couldn't make me happier. I love milk, but after 5 years of milking a cow twice a day, no, I'm done with that. So there's a lot of good things that we all can learn from each other, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to put this out about groups and stuff, was because of there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and a lot of people really don't know about groups. But if you just go ahead and let me do something here for you. Okay, so let me go back to this one here. No, this one here. So I'm changing what I'm searching for here. How to find a prepper group, prepper groups. Also, preppergroups.com. It's a site where you can find other preppers in your area. How to find preppers, true. There are a bunch of ones out there that are willing to put you in contact with with different ones. And if I can change this, I'm going to change this up a little bit to survival groups and see what a different things. Google's great, guys. So there's a lot of different things on different survival groups. Off-grid web, True Prepper, that was mentioned before. Meetup is one of the ones that I've seen around. Survival blog helps people find things. Different ones here. Find a prepper group. Yeah. Survivalist, Prepper Net. So there are a lot of different things out there to help us do things, guys. Get back here over here on this thing here. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to give you guys about 5 more minutes to chat on the side. And then I am going to be closing this out here. And I got to check something here. Just what I got a message here. Hang on. Okay, I just got some feedback from Hidden Valley Homestead. He was checking. He can't find anything about the change. So I guess everybody didn't get that email about the changes in the from 1,000 subs to 4,000 subs and stuff. So hopefully, cross your fingers, that's not going to happen. And that was just YouTube putting out some feelers out to a few people to see what was going to happen, to get feedback on the thought of it. So, all right, Kathy, see you later. Have fun. All right. All right. So I know they're Ninja Scout. All right. Anybody in Missouri, check out get with Ninja Scout. I know there are on my subscriptions. I've some of the homesteadings I subscribe to. The wrong one. Some of the homestead groups I subscribe to are out there, and they talk about it a little bit. Yeah, and all right, hey Dan, good to see you coming in from Nampa here, over on the other side of Idaho, the other of the free state of Idaho. Yeah, I poke fun at my friends in California about that. All right, kiss my grass. See you guys later. I'll catch up on some of the other live streams over there. Okay, yeah, it looks like everybody's beginning to cut it out here. So I'm going to go ahead and anybody would need to shout anything out here really quick about something? Let me check the other chat. It's going a little bit faster. Okay, yeah. Corsair says to stack ammo. That's something else. Another skill, guys. Learning how to. I'm just lost. And make your own name. Reload. Learn how to reload is another skill to learn. Also, a machinist is a good skill to learn. Learn how to, and maybe even get licensed now and do it as a hobby to be a gunsmith. That way you have a little side hustle right now, making money now on something that you're going to use later on. All right. Okay, so there's some feedback there. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it now. And as always, I want all of you to stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.